Hello, hello, hello everyone. This is Kathy. I'm glad you're here. I'm here with number 24 of the 100-Day Challenge. And this is something that I've made before that I just love. And I made it a little simpler this time. And this is a concertina book or little journal or something to add to your journal. And let's get started right away. First of all, the materials. You need 14 pieces of heavy cardstock, something like this. It can be single-sided, so this is pretty heavy weight. And those 14 pieces will be 3 3/8 inches by 6 3/4 inches. 6 3/4 by 3 3/8. And I cut these out of 12 by 12 paper, and I needed, I believe I needed 2 sheets. If you're using 8.5 by 11, then you need more, obviously. But 3 on the safe side would be good. And you want those, if you're using printed cardstock, you want 7 sheets to be rather plain because you're going to be stamping quotes on them. So I'm using this, and then I cut 7 pieces of this, okay? Then you need 2 pieces of craft board, 3 3/8 square, 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. These are going to be the covers. You're going to need a piece of paper to cover the cover, and I didn't put a measurement down. I made this 4.5 by 4.5, and you'll need 2 sheets of that, of whatever you're going to make your cover out of. And let's see, you need a ribbon for the closure around 18 inches. I've cut mine in half already. And then you need some stamps, quotation stamps, okay? And some ink. I'm using StazOn. You can use archival. And then if you want to distress it, you need some distress ink. Make sure you bring a bone folder. You're going to need it, or a credit card or something to make a crisp edge. Scissors, glue, paper trimmer. Okie doke. Let's get started. First of all, I'm going to take my printed cardstock. This is the plain. If all your cardstock is the same, then you're going to separate them into 2 piles of 7. So I have 7 here, and then 7 here. Okay? So I want to show you what to do with the first set of 7, which is either your printed. If it's all the same, then it's 7 pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, and then you really want to make sure that all your pieces, the edges are really lined up and they have a nice crisp fold. That's really important. Then on this one, you're going to take it and you're going to fold back the edges to meet the front fold line. And again, make sure you have it really lined up well. Give it a nice good crease, and do the same thing to the other side. Make sure you line it up well so that you get something that looks like this. You have 2 valleys and a mountain, or you have two mountains and a valley, depending on how you're looking at it. Anyway, the one in the middle juts out. Okay. Oh, what I didn't tell you you needed, I believe it was on this sheet. You need a piece of scrap paper cut out at 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. So after you folded 7 pieces of this in this manner, you're going to take that 2 1/8 inch by 2 1/8 inch, and this is your template, because you're going to be cutting out a window in this sheet. And you're going to line it up as close, you know, make the edges even without, you don't have to measure it. Just try to get it centered. And you're going to cut it. I like to cut it on the ends first. Then I take my finger and I mush that side down. And I end up, I don't need this square, I end up with something that looks like this. Okay? So you want to do that to 7 pages, which I've already done. So I have 7 pages with a window cut out. Okay? Then you want to set that aside. Then you want to take your other piece. And your other piece, all you're doing is you're folding it. And you want the pretty side. This is not double-sided, so you want the side with the print to be folded, paid end to end. So you want that inside the, what am I trying to say? You want the white side on the outside. Okay? So you need 7 pieces like this. Okay? Make sure your crisp folds. So now I have 7 like this, and I have 7 like this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to stamp in the center. I want my quote to cross the center line as easily and evenly as possible. So I'm going to take this quote and let me get something to put under here. So I'm going to try to center my stamp, both that it's even from the bottom and the top and even from the sides, and it goes right through the fold line. Just like that. Now that didn't stamp so great, but that's okay. Let's keep going. You're going to do that to all 7 pieces. Okay. And we're doing the same thing there. Okay. Just like that. go. And if you don't have quotes, enough different quotes, you can also use photos or pictures and just make sure they're on light scrapbook paper or copy paper, and that they cover the inside fold just like we're doing. Okay. I love this one. Make today so good, yesterday gets jealous. So you could have these be quotes about a certain topic. Maybe you're using this just as an affirmation. Maybe you're using this as gratitude, so you want to put something about what you're grateful for. Maybe you're making this as a card for somebody. Okay, and one more. Okay. And that's all you need is 7 of those. Next, now's the gluing time, so get your glue out. And what you're going to do, you're going to take this panel and put glue on the back of this panel. It's going to be glued there, and this is going to be glued there, so that when you look through it, you can see the quote. So let's get gluing. And this is going to go here. And I'll fold that, and this is going to go here. Okay, so that you end up with something that looks like this. And you'll see that my stamping is a little on the diagonal, but that's okay. I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to do that to all 7 of them. And I find the easiest way to do it is fold up the window so that the panels show on each end. Set one panel down, fold it into place, and bring the other sheet over to the windowed piece. Just like that. And I'm using art glitter glue. I use that for everything pretty much. Whoops, way off. Okay, so we have 7 of these. So decide which one you want to start your book. I like this one. A great thought begins by seeing something differently with a shift of the mind's eye. What you're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to take, so there'll be 4 in the front. And there'll be 3 in the back, like that. So the way we're going to start, let me have this one go first, is, let me make sure I have this right. This is going to go like this, this like this, this like this, this like this, this like this, and this like this. And that's how you're going to glue it. So you're going to begin, let me go through that slowly. You're going to begin with the first one, set that down. Then you're going to take one for the back, and you're going to skip the first panel. You're going to glue it to the back, the second panel in the back, okay? Then you're going to take another one facing forward, and that's going to be glued to the back of that first one in the back. You're going to take a back one again. It's going to be glued to the second panel in the front of the front one. And then you just keep reversing it, just like that. So you end up with 2 pieces on either side that don't have a panel in the back. So let's glue. And I find it easier to do it, to start it, standing up. You want to make sure that it stays flush. You can always go back and trim. Okay, I'm going to take that. This is the first piece we just did. We glued the back one to the back of the second panel. Needs a little more glue. Now we're going to take the front one and glue it to the back panel. Just like that. And again, I like to do it in the upright position until I get it there, and then I smash it and rub it together. Okay, next, we're going to take the back one and glue it to the second panel of the front one. Oh, what you want to make sure while you're doing it, which I have not been checking, you want to make sure everything's facing in the right direction. You know, you don't want accidentally to have turned it upside down. That is me speaking from experience. Okay, now we have another front one. We're going to glue to the back. And once you make one, it'll go very easily. You won't get confused. This was the confusing part. And we have one more back one. And we're going to glue that in place. Make sure it's lined up. Okay. And one last piece. And this is a front one. Making sure it's facing in the right direction. Okay, so when you're done, let me make sure this is lined up because it obviously is not. Goodness gracious. Okay, so now we have something that looks like this. The front and back have pieces. Now, when we close it, this is where our covers go. So, I'm going to take my craft board, that's 3 3/8 inches by 3 3/8. Take my piece of paper that I've cut. I think I cut it 4 1/2 inches. And just like I would a regular journal cover, I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to train it to fold. I'm going to cut the corners. Keeping about a 1/16 of an inch away from the corner. And Same here. And we want to tuck those corners in. And the other side as well. Okay. And I am going to ink the edges. This is my other cover that I've already made. Okay. Now, before I put the cover on, I want to glue on my ribbon. That's going to go right here. I'm not going to leave too much room to tie it, just a bit. So that's going to go there. And I'm going to add glue all over. And we're going to place this down. We're going to do the same thing on this side. I want to make sure the stripes are going in the right direction. And let me see what I have to go on here. Maybe I can cut out some of the same flowers that were here. Sorry for that noise in the background. Okay. Okay, and then I can trim that. Let's see if this works. Oh, I like that. There we go. It can be cut just a little. Okay, well, this is our Concertina folder for number 24 of our 100-day challenge. And I like the way it turned out. It needs one more thing. This needs some stamping. Okay, so you could use it as a regular, whoops. Is that right? Yeah. As a regular book that you turn the pages. You don't have to open up the whole thing. And then you can continue around to the back. And if you wanted to, you could add some pockets to the panels and put little things in to write on if you choose, or little notes that you're giving to the person that you're giving this to. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you try to make it. It's a lot of fun, and it's so pretty. And what a nice gift this would be for someone. Anyway, you have a great one. Bye.